needs a shoulder to cry on. Everyone needs a helping hand. Everyone needs someone to rely on. Yes, everyone needs a friend.
Ever since I was little, I've always known God. I grew up Catholic Christian, so yeah, I always knew there was a God. I've always known that God existed. I've always, seen that like, oh, He saves us. But growing up, I've seen my fair share of trauma. I've seen friends who've, sadly passed away from suicide. It's hard to see stuff like that. I've had family members die from like bad stuff in the world. I've seen that. And so as anyone would, or like the famous like, oh, why is there so much pain in the world? God mustn't exist, right? And it wasn't until the last 3 months that I really, like my heart or my eyes, or just like me, like myself in general, I've been really opened up to God. I've been through like traumatic stuff of my own. Like 3 months ago, I was involved in a car crash. And in this car crash, it was, I was late out at night, I was tired, I was driving and, fell asleep. So it was like almost any other car crash, but I don't know, it shook me to my core. Like, I guess the feeling of when I say that it shook me to my core, it wasn't like I feel traumatized with PTSD or, something bad's gonna happen. It's just like, something opened up, something that was there before and had closed up, finally opened up again. I had separated myself so far from God, but out of a cry of desperation, I was like, God, what is this? Why am I going through this? I need help. I don't even believe in you, but out of desperation, I was just like, let's see what happens. And like in a span of 3 days, I started feeling more peace inside me. I'm like, wait, I'm not that sad today as I was yesterday or the day before. I don't feel all this. I'm like, I remember like 3 days ago, I kind of called out to someone, to God or whoever that might have been. It's like, what's happening? And that was a Sunday. And I was driving with my mom because, I have no car now. I was driving my mom through town. We were like planning to get brunch, and in the town that I live, there's this local church called St. Andrew's Church. And like you're gonna hear it in almost every other testimony, but it was like someone wrapped a rope around me and just like, what was that game? Tug of war, like with all their force, just pulled me to that church. And it like, I don't know if I jerked my body, but it felt like my body had jerked in that way. And I'm like, that was weird. That was definitely 100% weird. Never felt anything like that. And every time I would scroll past a video that had to do with God or anything like Christian, it's just this nagging feeling until I just went to church. And now that I went to church, I'm like, I feel when someone talks about the peace of God or God's love, like that's that feeling, that piece of, I still have to deal with everything, I can still have these depressive thoughts, I can still, be sad, but now that I know there's something out there that only wants my happiness and only wants my love to be shown and spread through the world, it makes it a little bit easier, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's like the past 3 months, just discovering how much God loves me. And it's just like, man, now I think about Jesus. Anyone could ask me, it's like, what do you think about when you think Jesus? I'm like, you have to be careful because I might just fall down crying thinking about Jesus and what He's done and all that, you know what I mean?